Adrien Brody's story shows what can happen when an actor reaches the peak of success before the industry fully understands how to use his talents. At age 29, he became the youngest winner of the Best Actor Oscar for his role in The Pianist. He had thrown himself so deeply into the part that he lost around 30 pounds and stepped away from nearly every part of his normal life. That award was supposed to launch him into stardom, but instead it marked the beginning of a long period where he struggled to match its heights. Pushed toward big studio movies like King Kong and The Village, few of those efforts met the high expectations. As he continued to explore different kinds of roles, some experiments did not connect with audiences. This led him toward international projects, including films made in China, and even one of the most poorly reviewed movies of its time. Yet over many years, his path slowly turned around again through strong television work, repeated team-ups with Wes Anderson, and eventually a performance that rivaled his breakthrough. This is the tale of an actor who won an Oscar too soon and spent the next 2 decades working to catch up to that moment. It is the story of Adrien Brody. Even before earning that statue, Brody had earned a name for himself as the type of performer who could vanish into unusual characters. He pushed his body and mind in ways few young actors would dare. One early film that seemed poised to make him a star nearly derailed him instead, but he recovered and built momentum once more. Born in Queens, New York in 1973, Brody grew up surrounded by creativity. His father worked as a retired history professor and painter, while his mother was a photographer. As a child, he would imitate people he met, copying their voices and mannerisms perfectly. He put on magic shows at parties under the name The Amazing Adrien, though acting always remained his main passion. By age 13, he started formal classes and later attended the prestigious LaGuardia High School for the Performing Arts, where he gained theater experience and appeared in off-Broadway productions. Around that time, he took part in the television movie Home at Last and made his big-screen debut in 1989's New York Stories, specifically in the segment directed by Francis Ford Coppola, within an anthology that also included work from Woody Allen and Martin Scorsese. His early career had its share of ups and downs. In 1992, he survived a serious motorcycle crash that left him recovering for months after being thrown into a crosswalk. The following year brought a strong opportunity in Steven Soderbergh's King of the Hill, where he portrayed a friend of a boy surviving alone in a rundown hotel during the Great Depression. The film earned good reviews, and Brody's work stood out, marking one of his first notable roles with a respected director. The mid-1990s kept him working steadily. He appeared in baseball-themed family fare like Angels in the Outfield, played a character with gambling issues in Ten Benny, starred with Mickey Rourke and Tupac Shakur in Bullet, and took on a scientist role in the action film Solo. None quite propelled him forward like King of the Hill had. Smaller independent movies filled 1997, such as The Last Time I Committed Suicide, The Undertaker's Wedding, and 6 Ways to Sunday. That same year, he started work on what was meant to be his major breakthrough in Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line. The World War II film featured an impressive ensemble cast and went on to receive multiple Oscar nominations. Brody was given the lead part that carried the source novel. Plans were already underway for publicity, including a Vanity Fair cover. Then, at an early screening, he realized his role had been edited down to just a few minutes and lines of dialogue. The sudden change came as a shock, causing embarrassment and worry about his future. While Malick made choices he believed served the movie, the lack of notice to affected actors felt harsh. Brody later reflected that avoiding huge early fame at 25 may have been a blessing. By 1999, he stayed active with varied parts. In Spike Lee's Summer of Sam, he played a punk musician returning, home amid the 1977 serial killer fears in New Kia, York. He researched the culture thoroughly and even broke his nose filming a fight. Other roles that year included A Kidnapper in Oxygen, where he wore real braces for authenticity, and the older brother in a Jewish family story set in 1950s Baltimore called Liberty Heights. It proved to be one of his busiest and strongest periods. Had The Thin Red Line elevated him as planned, he might not have taken the challenging parts that followed. Those experiences, however, helped prepare him for his greatest opportunity yet. Projects like Bread and Roses saw him as a union organizer, involving real undercover research with workers. In Harrison's Flowers, he portrayed a war photographer in Bosnia. Though the movie struggled at the box office, it drew the eye of Roman Polanski, who later cast him in a major project. He continued with films such as Love the Hard Way, The Affair of the Necklace, and Dummy, where he mastered ventriloquism for live performances on set. Then came the film that transformed everything. In The Pianist, Brody took on the real-life Polish-Jewish pianist Władysław Szpilman, surviving the horrors of the Warsaw Ghetto and Nazi occupation. Over 1,000 actors auditioned, but Polanski chose Brody after noticing his work in Harrison's Flowers. His dedication was intense. He practiced piano for hours daily to perform Chopin's pieces convincingly before the music was dubbed. He dropped significant weight quickly on a strict diet and isolated himself completely by giving up his home and belongings to mirror the character's losses. The production schedule allowed him to regain weight gradually for earlier scenes. The outcome was a performance full of haunting vulnerability that earned widespread praise. The Pianist succeeded critically, and though Brody doubted his chances, he won the Oscar at 29, the youngest ever in the category. The physical and emotional toll was heavy, and he took nearly a year off afterward to recover. With the award in hand, he was now viewed as Hollywood's new leading man, bringing fresh pressures. He joined a big agency aiming to position him in larger commercial films. Looking back, he admitted feeling unprepared for the sudden expectations placed on both him and his projects. His first major post-Oscar role came in M. Night Shyamalan's The Village in 2004. He played a mentally challenged villager in an isolated 19th-century community after researching at a facility. The movie succeeded financially, but received mixed reviews compared to Shyamalan's earlier hits. Next was The Jacket, involving isolation tank work for his veteran character, trapped in experimental therapy. It flopped initially but found later fans. That year also brought Peter Jackson's King Kong, a massive production, where Brody learned green screen acting and stunts. Both big films had mixed results relative to their scale. He kept choosing directors he admired on larger stages. In 2007, he began a rewarding collaboration with Wes Anderson in The Darjeeling Limited, playing one of three brothers on a journey in India. The cast lived together simply, and Anderson encouraged Brody's comedic side after years of serious dramatic typecasting. Around this time, big leading man offers slowed. He was in discussions for iconic parts like the Joker, but did not land them. This left him navigating between character work and leading roles. He approached his career as a creative laboratory, selecting projects that interested him personally. Some choices succeeded, while others backfired in the late 2000s with lower-profile films like The Brothers Bloom and Cadillac Records. The early 2010s brought challenges, including Detachment as a weary substitute teacher and a fun cameo as Salvador Dali in Midnight in Paris. Overseas work and flops like Inappropriate Comedy followed, alongside more Anderson projects such as The Grand Budapest Hotel. He stepped away for a couple of years to paint and recharge when suitable roles were scarce. Television opened new doors in the mid-2010s with Houdini, earning an Emmy nod, and a striking turn in Peaky Blinders. The 2020s saw more TV like Succession and Winning Time, rebuilding visibility. Film work improved gradually with Anderson reunions and passion projects like Clean. Then, The Brutalist arrived as the ideal vehicle. In that film, he portrayed a Hungarian Jewish architect and Holocaust survivor rebuilding life in America. The role carried deep personal ties to his family history. Shot efficiently across locations, it showcased his strengths in a long, demanding performance. Many hailed it as career best work. The Academy responded with a second Best Actor win more than 20 years after the first. He also debuted on London theatre stages around then. This return to form was no sudden reinvention, but a match for the intense, committed style he had always brought. With 2 Oscars now, the focus shifts to what he chooses next. Brody exemplifies the challenges of early triumph and the value of staying true to one's instincts through detours and comebacks. His path reminds us that talent and persistence can align again with the right material after years of effort. What stands out as your favorite performance from his body of work? And like, subscribe and share, or press the bell icon for more informative videos.